This is very obviously white and gold.
It's blue. It's obviously blue.
I cannot see blue anywhere in that dress. I don't even know how you could see blue.
It's all coming at me fast,
It's
too,
a
trust
fact
me.
that you're smarter if you see it in black and blue.
If you are seeing white and gold, where are you looking at? I don't
Oh,
get
it
it.
just changed to white!
When I look at the real dress, of course it's black and blue, but the picture that's been circulating is not has the same contrast. And that tells me that there was some kind of a light that was hitting the dress. And that light quality is a very warm light. What we are really looking at it is the light that's reflecting off of the blacks and the blues. This is the kind of thing that we constantly deal with.
I think it's much more likely perception, which is actually to do with the brain. Our brain is really good at filling in information that's not actually there. And so the brain is basing what it sees on its own interpretation of the image. Okay, and if your brain thinks, I guess, that this dress should be white and gold based on its interpretation of the picture itself, the lighting, the conditions that the picture's being viewed in, it's going to build that image as white and gold. It goes back to the optical illusion issue. You expect the square that looks lighter to be lighter because it's in the pattern where it should be lighter. You can cut the squares out and put them next to each other and show you that they are in fact the same color. But in context, your brain is taking that image and it's making sense of it. Everybody's reality is different. I mean, so understanding that what you see is not necessarily what your neighbor sees, I think this is a really good example of that.
Are light and color two different quantities? Why the shimmer of a butterfly's wing? The ancients say that light is colorless, but what then is a rainbow? The prism bends light, but it bends light of different colors by different amounts. Is this the secret of the rainbow? If color resides in the object, why does a white feather take on many colors when I view it through a prism? White light holds within itself all the colors of the rainbow. Light consists of rays that bend by different degrees, each a different color.
These colors reside in the prism. The glass provides the color.
I can prove otherwise with a second prism. If the prism made the colors, why would combining the colors make white? White light consists of rays of different color, differently refractive.
In physics, colors can be measured, but colors possess other qualities and properties which cannot be measured, but which we sense immediately. When the sun rises in the east, we may have the good fortune to observe a very special phenomenon. For a moment, the orange-red light of the sun plays directly upon the cliff, and our shadows appear to be greenish-blue. These shadows are actually grey. Our eyes form the greenish-blue as a counter to the powerful orangish-red light. This simpler setup helps to show what really happens. We illuminate a cone, from the left at first with white light, then from the right with white light. There is now a grey shadow on each side of the cone. If we add a green filter to the left-hand lamp, the whole setup is bathed in green light, except for the part that is in the shade of the cone. This time, when we switch on the light on the right, which is still white, our vision creates a magenta shade where there is room for it, namely in the gray shadow. If we zoom in until we can't see the surroundings anymore, but only the shadow itself, it stops looking magenta and turns gray again. If we view the shadow in isolation, it is gray. But when we see it in the context of which it is part, our vision invokes a magenta shade. Magenta is green's complementary color. The German poet and scientist Johann Wolfgang von Goethe noticed the colored shadows and decided to investigate the nature of color. Goethe is most famous for his poetry, but he also spent 40 years drawing up a theory of colors, and apart from Faust, he regarded it as his most important work. The phenomenon of colored shadows led Goethe to the view that colors are part of our vision and are therefore a sensory perception first and foremost. He studied the eye with great interest and based his entire theory on man as an observer. About vision, he said, "It will always strive for totality and unity, as we see from the colored shadows. If the cone is lit from the left by violet light, we create the complementary color yellow by ourselves. Cyan blue light creates the complementary color red. When we are subjected to an outer, uniform color influence, we create balance and harmony by forming an inner, complementary color. Colored shadows cannot be seen on their own, but only in the context in which they appear. They have no wavelength and therefore cannot be measured. So according to the scientists, they do not exist and are dubbed an optical illusion. Nevertheless, we see them. Goethe investigated colors wherever he saw them. He tried to chart their qualities and essence, when and under which conditions they arose, when we see them, and how they affect us. He rendered the results of his work visible in this color wheel. Here he has incorporated the general laws he discovered. For example, the complementary colors, the harmonic pairs of colors, are situated opposite one another. The harmonic pairs are an expression of the intercourse between the seeing man and the colored world. When the world shows us one color, we respond with its other half. Colors help to tell us about the world around us. They tell us that one thing is different from another. We would never spot the tiny berries if they weren't blue. The colors help us to differentiate. They tell us about the seasons and the cycles of life. They show us laws governing the reality we inhabit.